Okay, so I didn't film this because I actually was terrified of doing it and didn't think I was going to be able to successfully do it. But this is the distributor. This is the rotor, and it just literally pulls off. This is the shaft. This is the condenser, which that dark black wire goes around and meets at this point here. That screw is very difficult to get to. It looks like in the video it's lining up, but it's really not. But anyway, so this other faded looking wire right here is the ground strap, and it goes all the way around to here, and it has to be screwed down with this final tiny screw. Try and do that as I'm explaining the rest of it. So what I did was I was checking the mechanical advance, and what the mechanical advance is, and this screw totally, I failed big time. So there's two things on the distributor that mess with your timing. There's the vacuum advance, which there's a metal line going from a vacuum port from your carburetor that screws into here. Inside this unit is a diaphragm. It's bolted on with these two screws right here. When that diaphragm is sucked on, this little bar goes through there, attaches to the diaphragm in there, and what that does is pulls the vacuum open, closed, like that. And whether it's open or closed, it retards or advances the timing. And I might be a little off on that, but I think it advances it. Now underneath this entire setup, these two plates together, if you can look down this hole, see that spring right there? I got Mason in the other room. Spring right there. There's two springs, and they hold these little weights, and they basically open like this. And the faster this spins, those weights expand out, but these two springs hold them together to keep them from expanding too much. And that is your mechanical advance. Now, it was a little sticky, so to take this whole top assembly off, you have to take off the vacuum advance. Oh, and this little pin right here, there's literally the tiniest little clamp. It goes in this groove right here to hold this bar on. It's literally the size of a thick eyelash. I have no idea how I'm going to get it back on. But anyway, you take that off. I literally pried it off with this tiny flathead screwdriver. And then you undo these two screws here. This whole unit comes out. And then there's the clamp screws on the side that clamp the top of the cap on. They also hold this, you can see this one. They hold the whole top assembly in. So you undo those two, then you take a screwdriver and kind of pry on it. And then I got one of these ears up past this lip and grab it with pliers. It just comes right off. Then you can get to the weight assembly, and that's how I was able to mess with that. And added squirted brake cleaner all in it, let it dry out good, and then I just oiled it with motor oil. And then for the record, these screws right here are how you adjust your points. So you undo that one. See. Now, I'm not going to do a video on how to gap points. I would imagine if you're attempting to take apart a distributor like this, then you've already at least got the hang of that. So anyway, this diaphragm on the vacuum advance is shot. I'm going to have to take it to a shop in De Leon, Texas that specializes in rebuilding them. It's going to cost $125, so we're going to make a little family trip out of it whenever we have the funds to do that, which is not now. So, oh, this material right here, it's a wick, and I have oiled it. In fact, I oiled it all down in there. So, just motor oil. Underneath there, there's another clamp. I don't know if you can see those two prongs sticking out, but they literally just separate them and pull it out. But since the mechanical advance was working, I just serviced it, and then there's no reason to take it apart any further. It doesn't wiggle at all. I'm not wiggling the whole thing, but this does not wiggle, so the bushings are fine. So yeah, just need to repair the vacuum advance and then reinstall it, and that'll be my fun time with the distributor. These condensers are cheap. I actually replaced that one. You just screw it down to that with that screw. This little clamp device holds the cylinder in, and then you just put your wire in over here. Yeah, anyway, so shout out to my old Mopar buddy, Hubert McCoy. Really good gentleman, very smart guy. He heard my car running on a video and could tell that the vacuum advance was probably malfunctioning, and that the mechanical advance was not stuck but sticking. So very impressive, this type of information when these older fellas that have been, you know, they're up in their 70s, 80s, been working on these old flathead 6 engines. You know, when they leave this earth, a treasure trove of information leaves with them. So glad to know one of them and able to get information from him. Anyway, that's my distributor video.